What is up, quarantine world? David Sterling Reed here, and you are watching Sterling's World, where we get your questions answered by people from around the world. We are still talking about the coronavirus on World Corona Chronicles, and this time we are talking Dubai in the UAE. So let's jump into it. Some quick facts for you. We are at 3.3 million cases around the world. 1.2 million are here in the United States, whereas 16,000 are reported in the UAE. So the UAE is averaging about 500 new cases per day, whereas the United States jumped back to about 32,000 per day, which is up from last week where we were at 20,000 per day. Unfortunately, hope we get a lock on that. But yeah, check out the description section below. Once again, I have tagged all the cool topics that we cover in this, and we got some seriously cool ones. We're talking cloud seeding. I had no idea what this even was, but check that out. Cloud seeding. We got drones spraying down the streets. Dubai is taking it seriously, and they are doing some really innovative, cool things as far as technology goes. Also, a quick update that Sura didn't mention in this. The reason why they took it so seriously at the beginning as far as lockdown goes, and some interesting facts for you about that was, I know there were some things going on here in the United States. Maybe you heard, maybe you didn't. People were making YouTube videos about people coughing on other people, fake spitting, fake sneezing like they had COVID-19. They were doing some really, really weird things to scare people and thought it was funny. If you did this in Dubai, you know what happened? $30,000 fine and jail time. They don't mess around. They take that shit seriously. So stay tuned. Like I said, don't waste your time if you don't want to watch the whole thing. Jump around to whatever you want to jump to. Don't forget to leave some questions in the comment section below. If I don't answer them now in this podcast, if I don't answer them, I will make sure to get that question answered for you as soon as possible. So comment in the section below. If it's your first time here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button as well. Set the notification. Don't miss another World Corona Chronicle. Let's get into it. Enjoy this. You are going to learn some really, really, really cool, interesting things. And thank you, Sura, for coming on. Let's jam. Boom. Bow. Boom, bow, bam, bang. It's recording. Ain't no stopping it now. It's on.
All right, David Sterling Reed.
Say it again.
David Sterling Reed.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to Sterling's World. Today, we're on call with Sura. Say hello, Sura.
Hello there.
We're gonna be talking a little bit about Dubai. Sura just got back. She was in. How long were you in Dubai for?
I was there since February.
Okay, awesome. So what is that now? January, February. So two months?
Yeah, pretty much like 2 months.
Sweet. And why'd you go there? What was your whole purpose?
I had a vacation planned. I was heading to Madrid and then Barcelona and then South Korea. And Dubai was the last stop on my trip. However, when I was in Madrid, the COVID started really spreading. So I had to cancel half of my trip and just go to Dubai, visit some friends there. And then I ended up getting stuck. So I made the best of it.
And where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm there, but raised in the States.
And you speak Arabic?
Yeah. And a little bit of English, not too much, just a bit.
Yeah, it's like I speak Spanish and just a little English as well.
Yeah.
So your 2 months in Dubai, what was that like? It's obviously started in Spain. You said in Madrid is when it first started kicking off really bad, and Madrid escalated quite quickly. And then you went to Dubai. So what was the government action like there, and what was your experience like?
Well, I had just begun in Dubai, so we were still going out like a normal day, whatever it is what we were doing, restaurants, bars, what have you. And then suddenly, I think a week or maybe 2 weeks later, it started, COVID started, really getting on the news. It got serious, and the government started cracking down and started putting some rules. And at first it was, social distancing, limiting going out to restaurants and what have you, still being able to go to the beach. But then a lot of people were going to the beach, but not social distancing. And then gyms were closed, so everyone started going to the beach and working out in the beach. And then people had their little boot camps, but they weren't spreading themselves. Even though there's miles and miles in the beach, they still congregated to one area. So then the government was like, okay, no more beach. So the beaches were out, the malls were still open, and then they shut down the malls. So now we're only limited to the grocery stores and the pharmacies, and if you have an emergency situation.
And that was 2 weeks after you got there, so that was in February.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks out. Yeah, so they got on it pretty fast, and that's
Sounds like it, yeah. Did they have any cases before they got on it, or were they just like, it's out there, we're going to shut it down quick?
It's out there. I'm not exactly sure if they had a case. They had a case or not. But after a few weeks, the government then shut down the airport, and there were no more inbound or outbound flights allowed.
So they like closed it off completely, and buses probably as well.
Yes, any form of transportation into the country.
So you got stuck.
I got locked in. Yeah, I got locked down. But it's not the worst place to be when you're locked down.
Yeah, Dubai's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it has its perks for sure. I like it a lot there. Yeah.
So they locked it down.
Yeah.
They started shutting restaurants down completely. The beach they shut down because people were exercising all together on the beach. What other kinds of things did they start implementing?
Well, so they do normally they do cloud seeding during the winter because it's a desert, so there's not enough water to for the agriculture. So they rain. They make it rain. They force rain. So they put a chemical into the clouds which induces rain. So during COVID in March, they started inducing rain. It's called cloud seeding. So it started raining really hard, and it rains for 3 days straight during the evening, and you see lots of lightning, and it's like a light show. It's not natural, and you can tell it's not natural. But what it does, it cleans the streets, and it helps keep the air clean. It helps keep the streets clean. Now it's not killing the virus, but it's helping at least clean the city. Also, it helps the street workers that are cleaning the streets. It helps them also clean the streets faster.
So this, like, they induce rain, and then the street cleaners, which washes away, I'm sure, a lot of it. And then the street cleaners come out and start cleaning as well.
Yeah, right. So now you're helping manpower.
Awesome.
Also, what they were doing drone street cleaning. So they have drones that hover above, like 4 feet above the ground, and they go around and spray the chemicals that kill, bacteria or what have you. This
blows my mind. Like, I have never heard of another country doing this. I talked to my friend in Germany today, and she said that there are some drones going around doing something. She only mentioned it because I heard it from you, and I was like, man, my friend in Dubai said they're doing this.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
It's pretty advanced there. But that's why they put a curfew, was because so that after 8 o'clock, then they can go and clean the streets, because you can't have people walking around and drones flying around and the clouds raining on you, thunderstorms and drones. It just wouldn't be very practical. So.
There's just too much going on.
There's too much water.
And what were you said they were curfews. What was that like?
Yeah, so after COVID started getting really serious, they put a curfew on us, and the curfew was we had to be home by 8 o'clock. And you can only go out for essential needs, which was to go to the supermarket or to go to the pharmacy or an emergency. So, and that also they stopped visiting. No longer you can visit your friends, your family. It was strictly having to be in a self-quarantine environment. So if you're caught, in the car driving to go see your friends, then that wasn't allowed, and they give you fines. And then after that happened, they started requiring you to go online on the government website, and you had to apply for a permit. So you'd have to give in your name, your family name, your location, the destination that you're going to, the time you're leaving, and you had a 3-hour time limit to go and come back. And so you wouldn't be able to leave your jurisdiction. So if I was living, let's say, in downtown LA, and I wanted to go to the Ralph's in Silver Lake, and in between that, the officer pulled me over and saw that I wasn't in the right jurisdiction, then he could give me a ticket, or if I refused, he could take me to jail. And very rarely would they ever take you to jail, but let's say in the worst case scenario, I really refused. So you'd have to go strictly in the area that you live in to a supermarket or a pharmacy.
And those were the only that was the only thing you can apply for on this.
Or emergency.
Or emergency. So like
Yeah.
food, medication, or some type of emergency.
Correct. Right. After the permit, so that was a daily permit. So you can leave your house every day. And also, you can only one person in your household could leave. So no more 2 people in the car, only 1 person in the car.
For how long could you leave the house?
Again, for 3 hours. So
just 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. And the grocery stores close by 8 o'clock anyways. So even if you're out after 8 o'clock, like, where were you? It's truly like your parents' curfew. I mean, I felt that you know?
Be home by, you're going out with a boy, be home by 8.
No, there was no going out with a boy. That was
Oh yeah, I forgot the culture, yeah.
Yeah, no, and
big difference.
You have to be home before the street lights turn on, right? Like the American.
They had street lights? Is that
Yeah, we don't live in there's candles everywhere. We actually
it's in the middle, desert. There's candles only, so one guy goes around and lights all the candles.
But yeah, we have drones.
Crazy. The drones like the candles. Oh, okay, it makes so much sense. When you were going, what'd you say?
So then after the permit, then we had a 3-day permit, so we can only leave the house every 3 days.
Okay, so they were like slowly lifting regulations a little bit.
But no, that was actually putting regulations more because.
From 1 day to 3.
From 1 day, so you can only leave every 3 days. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can only live.
And that's per household, or is that per person?
Per household.
Okay.
So when you leave to the grocery store, you better stock up for 3 days at least.
Right, at least.
Yeah.
And what happened recently is they started lifting regulations again.
So 2 days ago they lifted the regulations. Everyone can leave their house now. They can go visit family, friends. They can go to the supermarket. The malls are open. Restaurants are open, but there's still a few regulations where only 33% capacity of the restaurant can be booked. So, they're still playing it safe. There's still social distancing. So 33% capacity is because the restaurant still has to put 6 feet of each customer.
Mm-hmm.
Each customer. The mall is open, but the beaches are not open yet because they know when the beach is open, people are going to start doing the same thing they were doing, working out and being too close to each other. Even though there's miles and miles apart that you can be, but, people get excited and they want to be around each other, and naturally that's fine. That's just the way humans are. But yeah, so they're back to normal life, and there's very few COVID cases. Last time I checked, it was 64. Mm-hmm. So it's safe for them to be out, and they're still requiring masks. So when you go out, you still have to wear your mask, and everyone wears gloves. And that was, you weren't allowed to go into a supermarket unless you had gloves on and a mask on.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's how it is here. You actually can't go in a supermarket now without a mask.
Yeah, they were doing that back in February.
Wow. That's so much quicker.
I'm still seeing people here in the streets, and I still see people without masks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the regulations there and in other countries seem to be so much more strict than here. Like, people just don't take it serious here. Why do you think that is? They don't take it serious here, as serious?
I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of freedom here. So, I mean, not to say there's just as much freedom everywhere else. I mean, Dubai is also a very westernized culture, society.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you put stricter regulations on people, they'll tend more to listen. And if you don't put, laws, then people don't listen. And to me, it's common law. I mean, it's pretty simple. Don't do this because don't murder. That's because it's unethical. That's pretty easy, the jail sentence is a little bit more steep, but I think people deserve that. So it's
Yeah.
just basically don't be stupid, really.
I like that you bring up murder actually, because in a way, if you get an old person sick, I mean, you could think about it kind of like that, you know? If
Yeah,
you get an old person sick and they have a 40% chance of dying from this thing,
it's
you can
involuntary manslaughter, right?
take them to jail.
Take
Take
them to
them.
jail, right? Is that the same thing with AIDS,
Yeah, you can't be
right?
doing that stuff. You got to be careful.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um, so what was your experience with testing? Did you experience anyone testing you anyway?
Yeah, so when you go to the supermarket, they have the temperature gun. Everyone that walks in has to take their temperature. You walk into a pharmacy, you have to take your temperature.
Right.
So everywhere you went, it was very, very, very extremely.
And there was the tram working there and the buses and everything, were they still functioning or no?
No public transportation,
Shut all that down.
and even Ubers. The Ubers from when I left started using these plastic shields
I
from
saw those in China.
the to the bottom, all the way, and he had a little hole cut out so that you can give him the money, right? But it was flat, right? Like a dog, like a dog door. It was a
Right.
flat, and that was even protective. So the Uber driver's protected. You're protected. Yeah, they go to the extremes, and I think going to extremes will help you in the future get over COVID,
Sure.
right? We can go back to normal
Sure.
life. And so they went back to normal life 2 days ago, somewhat. But I'm seeing here in the States that, the beaches are crowded and there's no regulations and not wearing a mask. Even if you're not infected, I think if everyone wore a mask, then everyone would be protected, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, and if you take it seriously like that as well, like you said, it'll be lifted a lot sooner,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I
Um
saw the difference when I traveled from Dubai into the States. I saw the difference is just in traveling, you know.
what was it? Yeah, because you came back. When did you get back? You just got back
Yeah, I just got back to not too long ago.
a few days ago.
Yeah. Well, when I went to the Dubai airport, again, you have to be wearing a mask. Everyone was extremely protected, wearing masks. Some people were wearing full-on hazmats.
Crazy.
Scary getting on an airplane and seeing people wearing hazmats.
Right? I'd freak out.
There was a guy sitting in my aisle wearing it. But you know what? He was probably just protecting himself from me and everyone else, right? Yeah. So he was from China. So, a lot of people that were on the airplane from China were wearing the hazmats because they've been exposed to this and they've been dealing with this for so long. They're
Right.
protected, you know?
And they probably got to go home. And I'm sure back home in China, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure if you do anything, you got to be pretty geared up.
I think so, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they were on a flight to Chicago. So I
Oh.
don't think they're going home quite yet. Or maybe this is their home.
They're just geared up anyways. They don't care.
No matter where they go in the world, it's going to end after COVID, you know?
But I'm glad that I'd rather them take it serious than take it laxed, you know? Like you can look, I say this all the time to my friends and to my family, and even on this podcast, is like, I would rather look back and I'd rather people laugh at me for saying, "Oh my God, did you see David? Did you see him doing those things? He's so ridiculous. Like, look at him. Sterling's all dressed up, all weird. Look at him." Like, I'd rather people judge me like that than to look back and say, "Man, look at, he was being so stupid. He got so many people sick." And like, you can't. I'd rather look back and be thought of as a fool for taking too much precaution than to look back and say, "Man, I killed somebody."
Of course, better to be safe than sorry. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't look at them at first when I saw the people wearing hazmats in the airport. I freaked out a little bit, even like second guess if I should be getting on this airplane. But, really thinking about it, I'm sure they were doing it to protect, themselves from us. So
from everything, you can't be too careful.
Yeah.
So what was that like? So you got on the plane in Dubai and it was hazmat suits everywhere, people taking it super serious. And then you had a direct flight here back to Chicago.
I had a direct flight back to Chicago. Yeah, Chicago.
And then back to LA.
Yeah, so when I landed in Chicago, there were people on my airplane that were Americans, obviously, some of them coming back to the States. And as soon as we landed, going through TSA, people in the airport were not wearing masks, like barely. And we're not
The TSA
even the TSA. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was really shocking, honestly. You would think that the airport, at least the airport employees, would be wearing masks, but they weren't. There was no social distancing. Like when I went to the cafeteria, everyone was just like acting
Wow.
like it was another. I mean, listen, of course you're going to act normal. You're going to still laugh. You're going to hang out with your friends. That's not what I'm against, but at least be protective. So that it was not required at Chicago Airport to wear the masks. Yeah.
And yeah, so they weren't wearing the mask or anything, and this was 3 days ago.
Yeah,
Or 3 or 4, whatever, and
Yeah.
less than a week ago. Regardless, they should be taking it serious. I know my sister lives in Atlanta, and the governor of Atlanta just opened up everything almost.
Really?
Yeah, he opened out of all things to open up first. Like I'm thinking restaurants 30%, awesome. Like Dubai killed it. That's amazing. Good idea. This guy opens up the gym.
Oh,
Right? Yeah. He opens up the gym, he opens up malls, like bowling alleys, everything. You're putting your fingers in the holes. Yeah. And then someone else is picking up your damn size 8 ball because it's the lightest one and everyone loves the 8 ball. Like this little ball gets passed around and everyone just gets sick.
disinfect that little hole. I mean, it's so hard. You're gonna spray every little hole.
Seriously, if you disinfect just the 8-pound ball, you'll probably save so many lives. People love that one. But he opened everything up. Like I couldn't believe it. I just got off a Skype call with my family not too long ago today, 2 hours ago, and I was talking to my sister in Atlanta, like, what the heck is this guy thinking? And she goes, yeah, let me tell you what they opened up. And she said those things to me. I'm like, wow, all the places that have like the most crowded people or crowded things, bowling alleys, yeah, everything, malls, gyms. Yeah, they opened up barbershop.
That's awesome.
Necessities.
Yeah.
You gotta look good.
For not getting a haircut, I mean, I cut my own hair in Dubai. No joke.
I just cut my own hair.
Look at that. I love it. I love what you do with your hair.
That is not what you said. That is not what you said 5 minutes ago.
For a good cause, and you're sending it to Locks of Love, so I'll love it because of that reason.
I am. If they still take it, I didn't even call yet. I just cut it like yesterday. So.
Yeah, I don't know. With COVID and everything, I don't know that you might have to disinfect your hair.
Come on, it's been in the bag for 2 days. It doesn't need disinfecting.
I think it has to be 3 days for the virus.
Oh, that's great. Did you experience anything else? Any other weird stories or anything you wanted to add?
No, I mean, honestly, the experience altogether was a pretty cool experience. I can't say that COVID was cool in any way, but I'm really glad that I was in another country, to experience it in another country and see how other countries, reacted to COVID, to see how they mitigate it and control it. It was interesting to see, cops patrolling the neighborhood. I would be looking out my window and I'd see a cop patrolling the neighborhood. Like, you don't see this stuff. This never happens, right? And I even saw the cop pull over a few times. Some people, I saw him pull over a worker, and the poor guy had to answer, like he was just coming back from an essential job. And so he asked for his ID and his permit and all that. So that was just really interesting,
Wow.
But you don't really see too many crazy things happening in Dubai because you don't do crazy things. You know what I mean? You follow the rules and everyone's safe. And that's the point, is you instill these rules and it's a safe country. And I think if the rest of the world was like that, I think we'd all be better off. So
you think if we had like these regulations where if you leave the house and you do something wrong, there's $1,000 fine, you think more people would take that seriously?
Of course, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, if I leave the house and I might lose $1,000.
Right.
For
So they
sure.
prevent idiots from doing stupid things.
Yeah, I said this the other day on the podcast. Is like all these people protesting. I don't care. I really, in my eyes, it's a free country. Like this is why you're protesting. But
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like what the real fuck?
Just
Don't
go
go.
ahead.
Yeah, do it, but do it in a safe way. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
even if you half of them, the interviews I saw with them, they were saying like, yeah, I believe it's out there, but you know, it's not as big as it. Well, if you believe it's out there and you believe you must believe it's killing people.
Right.
So what the real like yeah, what the hell?
Why do you need to spit on people? Why
Seriously.
you're in people this way? I mean, you're being a Trump basically. You're being a fucking idiot.
I heard. I don't know if you heard this story. In South Korea, at the beginning of this whole thing in February, end of January, February, or something,
Yeah.
some people got charged with murder because it was like this cultist church, and they believed that this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 disease, this whole thing was like God's will, like the plague. And what they were doing is they were going around like licking elevator buttons,
What?
yeah, like spitting on handrails, and they were infected. They were infected with the virus, and they knew they were, and they were going around spitting on things, coughing on things. Yeah, they felt like it was God's will or whatever it was.
They got murdered or they got killed?
No, they got tried for. They're going to be faced with murder trial
Wow.
in jail. Yeah.
You get what you deserve.
Yeah,
Wow.
you put out what you get. That's extreme. Like, are people protesting? That's freedom of speech. You guys are damn idiots, but it's freedom of speech regardless. But going around and spitting on buttons, this is a bit extreme.
Yeah, I mean, South Korea. I had a friend of mine that lived in South Korea while this all happened, and he told me about the way they really had it under control. I mean, they literally knocked on every door to test everyone. And that's why South Korea now is back to normal life. And they have been. You know, they've been going to restaurants and everything for the last few weeks. But they went and literally knocked on almost every door.
Yeah, and they take it seriously. I think that's a very good point. Like, even if you don't agree with me and maybe you think I'm stupid and you know your conspiracy theory is right. Whatever your theory is, but like the fact of the matter is if you really want to get back to work, if you really want to start doing these things, get back to normal life, get the fuck inside.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the best. I mean, look at Dubai. Everyone follow the rules. Look at Norway. Everyone follow the rules. Look at Finland. My friend from Finland, I just talked to him yesterday. He's like, yeah, we're all back to normal life. You can go to a restaurant and everything. Obviously, masks and try to keep your distance. But the thing is, they follow the rules. You follow the rules, you'll be able to go out sooner. You break the rules, you're going to spread this thing more, and we're all going to be stuck here longer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of people at Newport Beach.
Yeah. Yeah, like they said it would turn into like a mini Trump rally. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's see the numbers over the next week or two, how they do COVID after that.
Yeah.
So it's really not that hard. It's hard for everyone. We're all in it together. You know,
that's good.
It's not like any different for you. We're all suffering, you know. So get on Zoom, keep busy, you know, find some work, find an activity, do a DIY, watch some movies, you know, work out, you know, be you. Just be you for the next few weeks. And, you know, when you get back out into the wild, you know, you'll appreciate it more.
Get back out into the wild.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling LA now, the wild?
It's already pretty wild out there. I don't want to be there right now. I'm fine in my apartment. I'll stay right here.
You better stay right there. We got to quarantine you coming back from Dubai.
I don't have a choice anyways. And I am doing my social duty by keeping myself in my apartment and staying as busy.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Soda, thanks for coming on here, by the way.
Oh, no. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Glad that we connected. No, it was a good talk. And let's hope that this is over soon.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks, David. I like your new haircut. There you go. Get a little Stevie there.
I feel like a Viking stuck at home. I can't raid any villages or nothing.
You're the one living in the wild.
I used to see, I just put all these plants in the backyard. It really starting to look like a forest.
In downtown, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Sterling, it was nice talking to you.
It
Thanks
was
for the
nice
call.
talking to you too. Yeah.
Here, bye.
Mwah. Bye.
Ciao.
Everybody, I hope you're enjoying the World Corona Chronicles. These are going to be like a time capsule when we look back. So don't forget to subscribe, set the notification. Don't miss another World Corona Chronicle. Share this with your friends. Do your part. Enjoy. Stay safe. Talk to you later.